Hello, people. I am here with my partner, James Proctor, and I'm here with the guy that has great coffee in the morning, Tommy Stigs. How you doing, Tommy?
Hello, guys. How are you?
And we weren't going to do this today. We were working on another video, but we decided to do this video today because it's fresh news and it's on John Pennisi. And as people know, I don't do too many videos on John Pennisi. Overall, James, what do you think of John Pennisi?
Well, I mean, he's got about 25,000 followers, so I mean, he's got people that like his stuff. Some of it is a little interesting. It's not my cup of tea, and he's as far as my issues with him is more of his personality. Besides ratting, he's very overly sensitive. He's someone that you have to walk on eggshells around, and he has a violent past. I don't care for the allegations that he has been violent with women and all that type of stuff. So that, there's a lot of things I don't like about him personally, but his show, it's okay, I guess.
Well, the things that bothers me is he talks about active people on the street, and he'll say stuff for people that aren't even in prison no more. And that's one of the reasons we got Tommy here. Tommy, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Pretty good. This is a very interesting story you brought to us. So explain the video that Pennisi just did, where he is making accusations against certain people.
The video I saw, and I'm sure, I don't know if Lee you saw it, James, I'm sure you saw it. It kind of insinuated that, and I didn't dig deep into it, but what I saw was he kind of insinuated that when Joey Perna talked to the prosecutors, that's Joey. Yeah, he kind of made it sound like the prosecutors don't give you anything unless you give them something, and that's why he was able to. I don't know what kind of leniency he got in his sentence, if there was any, because he actually got 10 years on the case.
He did.
Yeah, I think. Oh, okay. Here's how I understand it. It was about him pleading guilty or going to trial. And the thing about pleading guilty was he would plead guilty if they dropped the charges against his wife and possibly charges against Maddie, Madonna, or it had something to do with everybody.
Right. Everybody that was involved
to do with everybody.
With the Jersey Crew.
Yeah, so he didn't do it. He didn't talk to them. He took 10 years to lessen the pain on other people, familial in his real family, and street people to lessen the burden on them. These are stand-up guys that have been around the game for, oh my God, that family's in this game 100 years probably, the Perna family.
And this is Ralph Perna. And
that's Ralph.
And explain to us about the Perna family and what their ties are. They're tied to the Lucchesi family, but what their ties are in Jersey and what level they're at.
Right now, I would never say anything that's not known. Obviously, you know that. They've been around for, like I said, maybe 100 years. They were neighborhood guys from our neighborhood and just respected guys. So,
and this picture was out there, so I'm going to put this up. Otherwise, I wouldn't. Explain to me who's in this picture right here.
That's Joey in the plaid shirt.
And that's who he's talking about.
The one that he's talking about. That's Joey. I graduated with Joey. I know Joey since we're 5 years old.
Okay.
That's Ralphie in the middle, actually introduced me to my wife. And Johnny, who is right now doing 3 years in Raybrook. That's Ralph Sr. on the bottom right there. And obviously that's Mom right there.
And so one's in prison and one's out of prison. And
that's a great picture. I just got to tell you, that is a beautiful picture for me to see.
And of course, I didn't come up with that. James came up with that.
Whatever it is, that picture is great. That's a great picture.
Yeah, thank you.
So, and doesn't one of the Pernas coach your son's wrestling team?
Oh, Johnny was responsible for my son making it to the state tournament in New Jersey. He came out after doing some time and grabbed my son and says, "We're going to get him there. We're going to get him there." And he has a lot to do with my son's success today.
Now, does it bother you that these people are your friends? They're a big part of your family. One's your wrestling coach. Now, how often do you talk to the Pernas?
Often. I have a call right now and say, I know them forever.
And
just like you would call your brother or something. Yeah.
now Joey Perna. Now he's the one being having accusations made toward him by Pennisi.
Right.
Isn't it amazing though, Tommy? Don't you find it amazing that guys that do actually rat and get caught ratting like to call other people rats without any evidence?
Oh, that's interesting. Yes, that's very interesting. That is an interesting point. And that's kind of what I thought of when I saw that part of the clip. That's kind of what I thought of. Exactly what you're saying right there.
And how does it make you feel that people that maybe, we're not saying they're active, but people
Right.
that may be active, that this guy's out here not having a care? And didn't Pennisi have like a relationship where him and Joey were tight at one time?
Yeah, they were friends. Well, here's where I think a lot of the stuff went bad for the Lucchesis as a whole. What they did was they broke up some of the Jersey crew. Now you have to understand Jersey. Jersey is very, very tight. Jersey and Philly are similar. They're very, very, very tight. Not many defectors within, because they're all neighborhood boys from when growing up since childhood. Now, what happened was they started to transfer Jersey guys to Brooklyn, Staten Island, and all that other stuff. And I think that's where it broke down. It's hard to have loyalty to somebody. It's hard to, you have loyalty to the life, obviously, but there's more loyalty or a stronger bond when you know somebody that you grew up with. It's a family. It truly is a family. New York is 5 boroughs of people all over the place. Jersey and Philly is very, very tight.
And
No.
who's this? Who's this gentleman right here?
That's Michael Tessetta.
And did you know him?
He finished 25 years just now, maybe about 7 or so years ago. He finished a 25-year sentence. Him and Michael Perna finished a 25-year sentence. They both did their time, did not say a word. 25 years in state.
And so he's trying to call a guy that did 10 years that he may have ratted.
More than 10. 10 on the last pitch.
Yeah, so here you got Pennisi coming out. Now Pennisi, to be fair to him, he shot an innocent. Well, the fact is he shot an innocent unarmed man and did his time in prison. Came out, became part of the Lucchesis. He moved up very quickly. He got made very quickly, if he got made.
Let me pause you on that.
Yeah.
He didn't do that time as an organized crime individual. That was a personal. He had no choice.
He could not get out. He didn't know anybody. He wasn't tied to crap.
Couldn't dime anybody out at that point. He had to take that hit.
Yeah. So James, before we go on, do you want to talk to Tommy more about this with the Pernas and ask him some questions?
Yeah, just so this was just so people know what we're talking about. So yesterday, Pennisi put out a video where he was talking about the Lucchesi Jersey crew, basically. And so a lot of these guys are either in prison or allegedly on the street, and so we want to be careful.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about active stuff that's not already known. So anyway, he was talking about Operation Heat, and so that was basically it was a bunch of people involved from different members and associates of the Lucchesi crime family, specifically in Jersey. So they was doing gambling, allegedly money laundering, racketeering. But Operation Heat was about a gambling operation illegally that had earned approximately $2.2 billion over a 15-month period. So this was back in 2007, and I believe they were also pretty innovative. They were doing stuff offshore in Costa Rica. I know for a fact a lot of the sports books and everything in Costa Rica, because I was down there for a couple of years. But
are you telling us that you were in a sports book in Costa Rica?
No. I was down there with the women.
It's always the innocent. He went down there for the women.
Women and drinking. Back when I drank. But no, so that's what it is. And then Pennisi was talking about the operation, about a lot of the people that got caught up in this. And so, I know that Tommy, a lot of these guys you you went to school with them, you grew up with them. That's what I was trying to say. And so, family basically. And so, the person I'm curious about is, is Michael Cheetah.
Uh,
He passed away in 2013, and this guy was mentioned by Pennisi. Is there anything that you want to say about him? Or I know he was friends with Little Joe and
yeah,
was close to a lot of you.
that's not him. That's Tessetta. That's Michael Tessetta. Michael Chetta is probably not in the
There's
picture.
no photos probably of
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
I was looking for
Lee.
picture. Oh, that's the guy. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's a guy. It was hard to find a photo,
yeah.
but I had the
yeah.
obituary though.
Well, he was a good gangster. If he's hard to find.
Yeah, he died June 10th,
Wow,
2013. He
10
was
years.
only 46
Oh,
years old.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's in. There's a link I sent you for it in the Word document over at
Yeah,
Ophis
yeah.
Funeral Home.
And so,
Michael
okay,
Chetta.
what-
Yeah.
Chetta. Michael Chetta he was a hustler. He was good to me. Okay, good to me.
Hmm.
Remove the life part.
Yeah.
He was good at what he did. Now he was not a Lucchesi guy. He was a Banana guy. He was not a Lucchesi guy.
Okay.
But they're Joey Perna and Michael Chetta's wives are sisters.
Oh, I see.
All right. Now I know Michael also. He was also very, very, very good to my son. That was going to be one of the first funerals that my son went to. He ended up not going. He was probably only 10 years old, my son, but that man was very good to my son also. So there's, like you just said, James, there's that family thing there.
Hmm.
And so Michael unfortunately passed away. He was a hustler. Now look, remember, I don't know the crimes that they were involved in. I was not affiliated with them. Even though
right.
I came from the same neighborhood as them, I was not affiliated with them in some of the stuff that I did, and that's for another topic.
Do you
But
know how he might have? Can you disclose how he passed away? Because he's young. I'm seeing
yeah,
46 years old, and
I think he had a heart attack from what I gather
yeah. Okay.
in the bathroom, I believe.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a larger thing about the Jersey mob
Yeah,
down the road. I'm working
there's
with
a lot.
somebody else online that I'm
Mhm.
going to get on and
Oh, that's
with
good.
you, Tommy, and we're going to talk about that today. So you talked to Joey Perna, right? So he knows that Panisi's out there saying. So can you be honest with us and just tell us what Joey thinks about what's being said to him about by a guy who's a rat?
I will tell you what he thinks. He thinks just ignore all of this garbage. It's all irrelevant. They're trying to find relevance within a space, and they shrug it off more than we do. If believe it or not, they shrug it off more than we do, Lee.
Why do you think that is? I mean, there's not really much they could do. I mean, let's face it, if this was 30 years ago, it would be dealt with. But nowadays, no one's going to deal with anything.
Yeah, it's a whole different world today,
It's
and
all, yeah.
bodies lead to life sentences. So who's gonna, you're not gonna do all of that stuff. But um, the reason they can do it is because, like you were kind of referring to that, the old ways are gone. They're not, they're not gonna clip a guy. They're just gonna let him do their thing and chalk it up to irrelevance. I guess you can say they're irrelevant. They're just grabbing at straws. I guess trying to make a living on here, and they run out of content, and they just have to bring up personal stories. Why?
Yeah.
Like personal stories.
And personal stories about people that were your friend and probably really didn't do nothing to you, but you want to talk about that person to build up your show. And that person's not in prison, and you're saying something about him where people might actually believe him. And that's what these guys do, like Pennisi and Gravano and stuff. They try to change mafia history.
Well, I will tell you guys, there are voices now from the other side. They can't get on, but it's out there and it can be posted. There's certain people that they don't want to come on here. They don't want to be in this spotlight. So they do depend on people like you, Lee, and I'm gonna say there are active guys that do watch your content.
Well, that's
I'm
good.
I'm guaranteeing you that there are active guys that are watching your content, and you stay with this way that you're doing it, you're golden. Because not that I can't say you're a voice for them, but you guys are putting in the research and the time and putting it together and really are debunking. Is that the word?
Well,
Debunking?
yeah. And,
Yeah.
it's not, and you know what, Tommy? It's more like with guys like Pennisi and stuff. We try to research and see what the actual truth is. You have to do that. I mean, especially with Pennisi, because Pennisi, he's like Sammy Gravano. They tell some tall tales and they get caught in them. And there's just certain guys.
Well, they're all watching, just so you know. They're watching them to a certain extent, and they're watching I guess you could say, the debunkers to a certain extent.
Well, it's got to suck when you're out here and you did, listen, a
I'm gonna,
mobster is a mobster, and
no doubt,
people know what they do.
no
It's
doubt.
their life. But the fact of the matter is, it's got to suck when you're out here, and then you see some guy that weaseled his way out of his sentence, talking crap about you, and there's nothing you could do about it.
I think they're built stronger than that, Lee. They have to be in that life, so they consider it more irrelevant than we actually do. Crazy.
Yeah,
They really
I think, yeah, they do. And a lot of it is too that the allegations, a lot of times what unfortunately happens is, like, even the general public watching one of these videos that Panisi's doing, like from yesterday, they may not understand or catch that, what was being insinuated. You have to be very, you have to really take every single word and digest it, because everything is technical. I've said that about Michael Francis, but it's also in this case. So, to a point, Panisi's also wanting to take care of beefs through his YouTube channel. And so the problem is that he's talking about a person that served his time. He got 10 years, and he didn't get any time removed. He did nothing. There's no evidence that he cooperated at all.
In this 10-year sentence that he served, James, was there any murder involved in this 10-year sentence?
No. It's about illegal gambling, and that's all it was.
So
and
10
he just
years
wanted to protect his wife, and that happens all the time. It's happened with people, both informants and non-informants, that will say, hey, I'll go ahead and plead guilty, because at the end of the day, the only thing the feds want is to have a notch on their belt where it says that the person's guilty. They don't care if it's by trial, by pleading out. Actually, they would rather it be pleaded out,
exactly.
because they just want to get it off their books, off their docket.
Right. So when you insinuate that the talking between the prosecutors means that you gave testimony, that's not true. Like you just said, James, they want a conviction. He took the conviction to get the administration off, or lessened, or not go to trial and expose, and get his wife off, the women, because they charged the women with,
exactly.
I don't know what the charges were, spending the money.
They do that a lot on purpose too, knowing that, they'll do family members, they'll do anyone they can, just so that they know a lot of that won't stick, but then they're hoping that what happened just there, where a person goes in and says, hey, they go to their attorney and says, hey, is there any way I can keep my wife and kids from being,
what any
part
man
of
would
this?
And they say, and the prosecutor says, take 10 years. And Joey says, where do I sign? So did Johnny, where do I sign? And so did Big Ralph. Big Ralph got 8.
Mm-hmm.
I think Maddie got 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
I may be wrong.
Maddie got 3, and then Big Ralph got.
Ralph got 8.
There's 33 or 34 members that had gotten charged
32.
in this.
32. Yeah, 32.
32.
Joey right there got 10.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Well, these guys all got sentences off this thing, and here you got this big mouth.
And they did their sentences.
Yeah,
Ralph is an older man. He did his sentence.
Yes, and on top of that, if Pennisi remembers correctly, when he got sentenced for murder, it was just a couple more years than this guy got sentenced for gambling.
And then you had Marty Tessetta in there, who was doing life plus 10 already.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to take another 10. Marty Tessetta's in Trenton doing life plus 10 and doesn't say a word. Every single day does his time.
And what was his sentence for?
Well, they had a body on that.
Okay, they had a body on that.
And Tommy Riccardi went bad on that case. Machine Gun Tommy. That was years ago. They killed the guy in Toms River. They were apparently trying to extort the businesses along the boardwalk in Point Pleasant. The guys would not cooperate. and they did kill a guy with golf clubs on Route 9. On Route 9 in
Unfortunately, that's part of that life sometimes.
That's, but that's then, Lee. That's then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I
that was
totally
long.
That's then, and Marty took
he
life
got a
plus
life sentence. There's a murder involved.
life
So-
plus 10, and he knew it, and he just took it.
There
And
was
you know what it
also,
comes down to?
sorry.
Even if this was true, just say that he's got 10 years and he gave people up. The fact of the matter is, John Pennisi is the last person that should be calling anybody out, because John Pennisi was sitting at home and decided to, because he was paranoid that he was going to get killed. So he decided to flip, but there was no evidence that he was going to get killed. And he just went in and decided to flip on his own. So
What do
there's
you
a big difference.
He didn't have an indictment or anything.
Huh?
No,
didn't have-
he wasn't even on the radar whenever
He
he
didn't have- he
walked
wasn't in an
into
indictment or
the
anything?
FBI offices
He went
and
in.
gave himself up.
Without being charged with anything?
Exactly.
Yep.
Why? What do you? He was felt bad about something then. What is that?
No, he was.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
James knows more about this stuff than me.
No,
Explain
only
it.
thing is that he had a bad feeling that the people that was around him was wanting to kill him. He felt that he was being followed, and he was fearful for his life because, the people that in the Lucchesis that he worked for had issues with him, and they had thought that maybe he was a rat. They thought there were a lot of concerns about Pennisi, and so Pennisi was kind of stayed away for a while, and he felt his life was in danger, so he just walked into the FBI office and
Well, it may or may not have been, but when they pricked
Yeah.
his finger, he knew full well it could be his own brother putting a bullet in his head.
And I have an idea. If you feel that way, maybe you should go hide somewhere instead of ratting a bunch of people out.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
go to
police,
Florida.
they had
Go to
no
hide-
idea who he was.
And then
until,
after you testify, go away. Just be gone. Just go. Live your
Yeah.
life.
And instead, he wants to
Make
attack-
pennies on here. Make
Yeah. and attack. Tommy, some guys make more than pennies on here.
Oh,
and that's why-
I'm
no,
not.
no. A guy like Pennisi probably
I-
has some people backing him up.
I get it. I understand. No,
yeah,
I'm not speaking literal. You know.
Yeah, but I had some other
yeah.
concerns about the video too, though,
What?
regarding what. So, do you know what he was referring to talking about Pennisi? He was talking about Joey or Little Joe being close to Joey Merlino, and then was talking about Nicky Scarfo Jr. And I guess it seemed like that maybe Pennisi doesn't like the Pernas, or maybe I don't know about I know Merlino and Scarfo had issues. I know Scarfo Jr. was as a favor to the dad, the Lucchesis put him
That's right.
under the belt, and then eventually I believe they demoted Scarfo Jr. And but what did you think of that part of the discussion or the video that Pennisi said about Merlino and Joe Perna?
I kind of know what you're referring to. I know the situation. I remember it pretty clearly. This is not breaking news. This is all documented stuff. As you guys know, we'll never say anything that's not out there. So yeah, they made Nicky out of fear, as a favor for two guys in jail. They made Nicky Jr. with the Jersey crew, the Belleville guys with the Jersey crew, to keep him safe, because they weren't going to clip a made guy, possibly, whatever it might be.
Right.
And then he got captain for I don't know how he ended up getting the captain's position. Maybe it was incarcerated. I know that Joey, Big Ralph, and Johnny were doing 18 months in Fed. So maybe that's why they put Nicky as a captain.
Mm-hmm.
Then when everything came out and everything was free and everybody was free, they demoted Nicky back down, and they upped Big Ralph because it's homegrown. It's a Jersey crew.
Yeah.
So they were right with that. Let the Jersey crew take care of the Jersey crew. Let's make a Jersey guy the captain again. Let's keep it there. It's been successful all these years, 100 years. Let's keep it successful. So that's what it was. So little Joey had to go tell Nicky Scarf. This is nothing that's not out there.
Right.
He had to tell Nicky that he's demoted, and he was elated because Pop was getting the up. So John Pennisi just kind of has to bring it up a notch and say he was elated and he felt great about this. It was like a party. That's kind of embellishing, I guess, in some
Yeah.
ways.
Now, does
Can't say.
Panisi say that he has? Did he have any business ties that he's claiming with the Pernas or with the Lucchesis in New Jersey?
James, I don't think so.
Yeah. So what was mentioned in the video was that and this was at the very end of the video, and I think this is maybe Panisi's always trying to take digs at his captain at the time, Big John, and so he was saying that Panisi. So Panisi said that when Little Joe and them were in prison, the agreement is that Panisi would collect money, make sure that the family was taken care of, and so there was stuff on the street, basically street business, and
Business.
and so John was supposed to be collecting, and then would give the money to the family, the wife,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then what happened was supposedly, they talked about it, and then they go to they get sentenced in prison, and Panisi doesn't hear anything for a couple of weeks, and then he then talks to his boss, and that's underneath Big John, and basically what happened was that John said he would take care of it for the Pernas. So instead of so the reason Panisi was upset about it is that the agreement was that he would get 10% of whatever was collected as the fee, and then 90% would go to the wife. And so Big John decided to take it on his own and do that, and had an agreement with the Pernas, and they left out Panisi. So Panisi didn't make any money
wow.
off of that.
How's that for intuition? Because little Joey probably said, "Keep him out of my business.
Yeah,
I don't want him in my
Why
business."
would somebody even put a man like that?
He doesn't know.
How do we know?
He didn't
even
know
it's
at the time.
true?
He doesn't
How
know
do we
that-
know it's even true?
They're brothers in the business, so that's
Right.
how things do. James, that is how things work.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's how money gets kicked up to the family. Somebody goes away, another brother, as they say, will take
Yeah.
care of his stuff and deliver it to the family.
Unfortunately, the Blood brothers were all going to prison at the
Yeah.
same time. That was the problem.
Yeah,
Or they would
that's the
have,
problem.
if if Johnny wasn't in prison, they would have had John
Yeah.
do it, or they would have,
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
Pernas would have.
So they
But,
pick another brother,
yeah, they had to pick another
this
brother.
type of brother, the prick finger brother.
Mhm.
But so that's intuition on little. How shrewd is that? How smart is he?
Sure.
That
But
he
yeah.
that he felt that and said, you know what, squash that. Let's do it through somebody else.
Okay,
Yeah.
before we go on, please hit the like button,
Hit
the
that like
subscribe button, or the reminder. Hit that little bell there. We appreciate it. If you want to donate, underneath this video will be where you can send a cash app if you like, or you can hit the heart down here and leave something. If not, totally understood. But more importantly, hit the like and please subscribe if you had not.
So
Tommy, did I
James,
do-
real quick. So James, so you think that made him feel like, oh, I feel bad, like that type of thing, when he wasn't able to handle that business for Joey? Probably.
No, I think he was pissed off because
Yeah.
he wanted the money. He wanted that 10% cut because the Pernas had a lot going on the street, allegedly at the time, and so, but I believe Roseanne. I don't remember if it was Roseanne, but the one I'm not going to say name, but Joe, the family needed, the wives still needed, they needed to put food on the table for the kids and all that, and so, yeah, the problem was that Panisi wasn't able to get in on that and make 10%, and so Big John kind of took it on his own, but it kind of surprises me that Panisi would even be asked to do it because he's not even a Jersey guy, right?
Yes, but he's a brother, as they say in the
Yeah.
life. So, it kind of is the course of action. And as you said, a lot of the Jersey guys were already indicted or going
Yeah, they were
away.
already put
So
away.
he would, they placed Joey with them. This is all known. They placed Joey with the Brooklyn guys. And they
Oh,
kept,
yeah, you're right. That's
Yeah,
true because
right.
they wanted to try to split them up. Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
they were in the same crew at that point. So it's a matter of
Yeah.
course, and it's a matter of
That makes
protocol.
sense then.
And the Pernas are big on protocol, as you can see.
Yeah.
And let's remember one thing, though. This is coming from John Pennisi's mouth. And for the little small amount of time that he was part of the family, it was very short amount of time. If you listen to Pennisi now, he was involved with every big thing all the way back to the Kennedy assassination.
Oh, God.
So let's remember that too. So we don't know if this is true. This is coming from Pennisi, and the Pernas sure aren't going to talk about it. So we have to remember where it's coming from. Would you guys say that's pretty much
Yes.
accurate?
100%.
Yeah. Well, Tommy, I appreciate you coming on. This is a nice 30-minute video. We're going to drop it today.
All right.
Thank you,
so
Tommy.
much.
It's really, I love talking with you. You have a lot of knowledge, and like I said, we'll be doing a show pretty soon where we go over the all the New Jersey activity. It's amazing that all the 5 families had crews in Jersey, plus Philly did as well.
Yeah.
And we're going to discuss that because Jersey's one of those kind of the Sopranos gave Jersey more of a bad look than a good look, because the Sopranos, they were kind of goofy. And
they tried to make like they were a glorified crew or whatever is what they said about the Sopranos.
You had some serious stuff going on in Jersey. You had all the families down there fighting for the areas. A lot of mobsters that even moved down there, bought homes down there.
Yeah. Carlo Gambino lived in Jersey. Gigante had a house in Jersey.
Mm-hmm. At least 7 families down there, because the Cavalcantes were there, and it's amazing to me.
I'm going to give you a little background. How about all of them on one block? Within a matter of 5 social clubs on one block. We've had it in the neighborhood. 5 social clubs on one block. The Gambino joint was next to the Genovese joint. The Lucchesi guys were across the street. And at night, everybody was at the bar together. Every night.
Wow.
You want to hear something funny? Is when I had my website up, which is going back up very shortly, I got more hits from Jersey than any other state in the country by far.
Really?
And that's when we were putting up all the stories on the blogs about the gangsters and stuff. For some reason, the people in Jersey are very much in tune with the mob stuff, and they enjoy it.
I'm going to go back and tell you why one more time again. I will say it's the familial aspect of Jersey and Philly.
Yeah,
everybody knows each other. Everybody looks out for each other. We knew guys that were in different crews, different families that were best of friends, hung out together at night. A lot of things do not get seen, unfortunately. There's a different aspect of the life that is totally shadowed out and just blanked with all the negativity. It's not a good life.
Not everybody was running around like Paulie Walnuts.
No,
it's like, and people get that feeling when you think about the Sopranos. Really, people say, "Oh, the Sopranos." They did not make the Jersey mob look good. It looked like they had to go to New York for everything, but they didn't have to go to New York because they were already there.
It still had no.
They were there already.
They still had no. What did that come out in '99? The Sopranos, I think.
Yeah. Well,
it had no effect on life around here. It really did. I'm still here. I'm in the neighborhood. I'm still here. I'm still in the area. I never left. We're all still around here. None of us did not leave. We're still around.
So, Tommy, when we do our Jersey one, I hope to have you come back. We have somebody lined up to do it with us.
The only thing you will not hear me do is talk about active guys. And you know how I am. You guys know how I am. I'll talk about anything. And it's just not active guys. And I don't embellish on anything. And I never was anything. I don't claim to be something that I'm not. So I would just give you guys whatever you ask me, answer the best that I can, and just move along. And this was a really good one. I appreciated you guys having me on. This is dear to my heart. This is family.
Yep.
And thank you so much for coming in, Tommy. I'll talk to you shortly.
All right, guys. Thank you. Be well.
You.
Yep.
Okay, so we finished that. James, what did you think? Did you learn some more stuff from that about Jersey?
Yeah, definitely. So I didn't know too much about, what had happened before,
I didn't even know who the Pernas were. This is like the reality of this is I'm a novice. I'm not like a Jeff Canarsie or someone like that could just throw this stuff together and know these names. That's not me. And
it's just amazing to me the Perna, they've been around for 100 years, and a lot of them are related to each other as cousins. And it seems like to me, and that's something maybe we'll get into when we have the the discussion with about the mob in Jersey, is that I think there's a different mindset between the folks in Jersey versus the folks in New York. I have a feeling that maybe they're a little different
And it
on
seems like to me,
the
Jersey.
neighborhoods and
It
stuff.
seems like to me, Jersey's a little more active than New York.
Yeah, that's what it seems to be too.
Yeah, I mean, still seems more activity in Jersey than New York. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just the feeling I get. Well, thanks a lot for being here, James. Please hit that like button if you have not. And let me end this, James. 1 second. People, thank you very much.